12 armor, beginning of the End Times Battle, a mod for Medieval 2. Today we'll have a battle between myself, the Dark Elves, and the Lizardman, as being played by Rannan. Today the army compositions for my army is as follows. I have Witch Elves of Cain. I'll explain more later why I chose a Witch Elves of Cain. The Blackguard of Nagaront. Then 2 units of Executioners, which are two-handed swordsmen. They have a very powerful charge. And 1 to 4 units of Dark Shards, which are your standard sort of archer unit or ranged unit for the Dark Elves. I also brought a couple units of Bleak Swords, which are my flankers, for the main to support the Dread Spears, which are 2 units of Spearmen. And finally I took 2 units of Repeater Bolt Throwers, because I believe this is an underused unit, and it has particularly good value against the lizards if you can target their big creatures, like their Stegodons or their Slam Mage Priests. I was expecting him to bring one of those 2 units, so I did decide to bring some Bolt Throwers so I could maybe snipe them from long range before they do damage. Also, for my cavalry contingent, I have 2 units of Cold Ones, and that's it. Just 2, because they're multiple HP cav and they're just wreck everything, so they're pretty awesome. And Rannan's army is, let's see, he's got quite a lot of Saurus, I think 4 units of Saurus, then a Crocscore unit, which is their heavy hitting lizard sort of heavy infantry. It's almost equivalent to Ogres, but not quite as good, because it's got more models. He also has 2 units of Temple Guard. 3 units of Temple Guard. Okay, he's got a crap ton of Temple Guard, like 3 or 4 units of Temple Guard. I thought they were quite expensive, but actually, if I remember correctly, Temple Guard are really cheap right now. I think they're only like 800 florins or something. So for an elite sort of guard unit, like heavy infantry, they're pretty good. He's also got 3 units of Skink Archers, which have numbers to their advantage, and that's basically it. But still, 200 arrows is quite a lot of arrows coming at you per unit, so it doesn't matter if their missile damage is only like 3 or 4 or whatever it is. Still going to rank up some kills on some light targets, but luckily the Dark Elves are quite heavily armoured. He's also got another unit of Crocscores on this flank, which are basically giant crocodiles, actually. That's why they're called Crocscores, I guess. And 3 or 4 Saurus, so his main line is mostly Saurus. And he did have 2 mages, but I think they're hidden. So let's begin the battle. Right, he sees I have the hill, because I'm cheeky like that. But like Dark Elves, I like to take the high ground, because their elite troops need a bit of range support. And on this map, it's quite a nice Lustria map actually. It's overlooking the battlefield, there's a nice little hilltop. So I'm moving my Repeater Bolt Throwers up to sort of try and snipe what I thought was Stegodons, or perhaps a Slant Mage Priest. But seeing he didn't have a Mage Priest, luckily I bunched up here, so one shot may have like routed my entire army off the bat. So you need to be careful when fighting lizards if they bring the Slant Mage Priest, because it's very, very long range of effect, and it can put a hole right in your army. And you may not recover from it, because a lot of units will rout because of that damage it does. Kills a lot of men. I think I'm targeting the the Stegodons, but they're loading up here. But I don't know if it's because they're on a hill. Oh wait, they're loading up now. Yep. Let's see if this is any sort of effective. See, they've got to put in like 3 or 4 bolts per reload, so it's a very long reload time. And okay, they're putting in another 5, so fires like okay. It fires a shit ton of bolts anyway, right? I don't know how many it is, but they're still reloading that bad boy. And I don't even know if they're going to get a shot off. Let's see. The crossbows are in range. Didn't appear to do much. I don't know if it was because it's a hill and it needs better line of sight, but for that reload time it didn't actually do that much, to be honest. I don't know if they're going to fix that, if it's animation bugs or anything, but my crossbows are firing sort of up in the air, which isn't what you want them to do. You want them to fire direct line of sight, so I counter charge down the hill and his stegodons, which have engaged my artillery piece. And all the while he's trying to get around this flank here. I don't know if this is... No, it's accessible terrain, it's not inaccessible, so he's got plenty of options to flank. But I'm just holding the Dark Elf line right now and lowering him in. And I've decided to put my executioners out on this wing, because I see his army going wide left, or his right, my left, and I decided to charge down at the Saurus. He's sort of... I don't know if he's trying to find gaps in my line or if he's trying to filter out and just sort of out micro me and try to wrap around me. But I've sent the cold ones to deal with the right side and the executioners are dealing with the left side. So they're trying to push through, but I just got a nice charge off on his temple guard. I believe he's going for the dark shards or trying to find a way around those. Also, I charged his Croxagors there with the cold ones, but I didn't really mean to do that. I was trying to actually get round. And we'll see an excellent shot coming up by the Skink Priests. He's got 2 units of these. They're very cheap mages and they're hidden, and they've just killed, oh dear, like 10 Dark Elf cavalry models. So seeing this right away, I was like, oh bugger, I really need to get out of here and try and kill the Skink Priests. So I'm now charging in and try to get rid of these. All the while the main line's engaged. Also, I've sent my Witch Elves around this side, and they've actually routed. This is the power of shock infantry. I actually got a flanking charge off on the Temple Guard, and they routed instantly with the screeching of the Witch Elves of Cain. So I'm chasing them down right now, so make sure the Temple Guard don't come back. And I've also engaged his mages on this side, but he's firing all his arrows into the cavalry, if I'm not mistaken, or he's supporting his main lines. He should be targeting light targets like the Witch Elves of Cain, because they've got like no armor, and they're just at a number on his left wing, my right, and they routed what's left of here. So the Witch Elves of Cain are marching back. The cavalry is still chasing down these priests because they're so annoying. They're the cheapest mages in the game, so Lizard's magic. If you can get a good build with them, you need to bring a lot of mages and magic to get be an effective Lizardman army, in my opinion. They're a very underplayed faction. I was saying this to Ranan before the battle, so we decided to test them out and have like a sort of Lustria battle. So the theme is like a invasion of Dark Elves incursion into Lustria to try and gain spoils. He's decided to try and protect these mages by sending his Croxagors and his Temple Guard. But all the while I'm just tying up these mages, making sure they don't fire, and if I can kill the mages then I'll start focusing on his archers. But he killed a lot of models, like 20 cold ones at least, and that's a lot for a multiple HP cav unit that I've invested a lot of money into. So the mages, I think, have retreated through. Yep, he kills my general with the Croxagor, because I usually have a meta general and I always lose it as Dark Elf, so that's becoming a trend. The main lines have just really engaged. Really, there's not really a lot happening there. The executioners are still fighting the Saurus, but he has broken through on the right. But I have flanked him on his left with the Witch Elves of Cain, who are now doing a lot of damage to this Temple Guard, and also got a Black Guard of Nagaron pushing back these Temple Guard right in the middle. The thing is about Witch Elves, they've got really high attack, almost no armor or defense value, so they're very vulnerable to missiles. So you need to watch that. You need to protect them, keep them in the back of the rear of your army, and then flank around and then get some decent charges off. But they will do. Look at that. They're just dicing up this Temple Guard. Temple Guard are quite good stats as well. They're not to be laughed at. I think they're going to get buffed up in the next patch, if I'm not mistaken. I decided to charge in to the mages, not the mages, sorry, the archers, and then support the main lines, because the main lines are starting, well, not falling, but they're not doing it as quickly as I want. But the Witch Elves of Cain have caused mass panic amongst the Lizardman ranks, are now running free, and have killed the general, which is going to mean morale problems for lizards as well. He's managed to get a good shot off with his mages. They're still in the archer contingent somewhere. I don't know exactly where, but I've routed his main battle lines, which is not good for him. And the Witch Elves are really fast, so they're going to close the distance. and also the executioners are charging into the archers. I believe he didn't have it on skirmish mode, so he could micro them better, I guess, because sometimes when you skirmish, your unit goes halfway across the map. But I can see I can catch this, so I sent my Witch Elves in to deal with these Croxigors, because I've seen what Witch Elves do to high sort of defense targets. They can dice them up and get some kills pretty quickly, even on multiple HP units. See, there's one dropping already. Probably more as well with the executioners being engaged. Yep, then they've routed because the Witch Elves cause fear. So they just routed, like after killing 3 models or 4 models, they just routed an elite, like, I don't know, 6,000 gold unit or something. So they definitely paid for themselves. I mean, that's the thing about Dark Elves, they've got such amazing shock units that a lot of people haven't used this tactic as well, so they are an incredible unit for their price. They're a bit pricey and fragile, so a lot of people snipe them down before they can get engaged, but if you can save them and get some charges in, like rear charges and stuff, then they'll definitely pay for themselves. And they're very fast, they're very good at chasing down missile units. As you're about to see, they're about to chase down or get in range of the, get around for a rear charge into these skink archers, and there's an insta route. Although it's only skink archers, that's an insta route. That's like a 200 unit right away. Just routed instantly. The morale's pretty shockingly bad, and they don't have a general, and all the R factors that the Witch Elves cause fear. And screeching, our Screechers dismay enemy, which is like a morale buff to your troops and then a morale penalty to your enemies. And at this point it's just a mop and up operation. The main Bleak Swords and Blackguard of Nagron are charging into the last of these Saurus with the Croxigor support. And here come the Witch Elves and the Cavalry, just ready to mop up whatever's left. He's trying to make a last stand for Lustria, but the Dark Elves are going to claim the spoils this day, it looks like. Just a few units left. Try find his remaining pockets of resistance and just slowly whittle him down, but he's not going to be able to beat a full Blackguard of Nagaron unit and supported by Bleak Swords on the flanks. So it's just a matter of time before his army starts to crumble and rout. And it was quite a close game. Like he didn't do any manoeuvring wrong. Like he tried to wrap around me and use his numbers, his lizards, and get his mages in. But luckily I saw his mages and he targeted the cavalry. If he'd maybe targeted the main battle line and protected them a wee bit better, then maybe it would have been slightly different battle. But I did see that they were the main threat, and that's like 10,000 florins he spent on mages. So it's not cheap for the mages of the lizards. It's cheaper than most mages, so they'll definitely pay for themselves if you can protect them. And they can hide as well, which is an excellent feature for mages, because I didn't see them at the start of the battle. And he's admitted defeat. I'd like to thank Rannan for taking part. He played very well. Let's see the statistics. He got 800 kills, and I got nearly 1,309. 400 of which were chasing down routers. My main casualties were the Hargoth Executioners, who got loads of kills, 183 and 174. The Bleak Swords got 100 kills, which is good for them. Cold Wind Knights didn't perform that well. I only brought 2 units of those, and I only got 36 kills on each of them. But it was a very close battle. It was very, I enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. And if you'd like to see more, consider subscribing. And I'd like to thank you for watching.